Okay, 1830, good luck. Okay, that's just gone green as it should. 4,000 games of rapid, very, very good. Let's just counter. Okay, how do I want to do this? I'm going to go c5. Let's just drop back, and then develop. Lots of options. Actually, maybe I might go e6. I'm not sure if I want e6 or g6. How do I do it? Actually, I might do both. I'm going to go g6 first. But I'll have to do this to bring my knight into play. I'll probably do this as well. Let's just see how my opponent plays this. Do that now, just to take away any potential immediate sack. Just gently pressure the pawn, get developed. Then I can either do this and this on this, or just this straight away. Oh, he challenges the pawn. I think I should take that. Goes with the queen. Well, that gives me a tempo with the knight to challenge the queen. Now across. You don't want a knight jumping in here before you've castled. I'm just going to try and get castled now. Right, so that's been done. So now I've got this issue of this pawn to deal with. And indeed that pin to deal with. So I think queen up makes sense here. Maybe here to hit the pawn. So here, I guess you've got knight out wide. Then maybe I just jump forward, I'm not sure. I can always come back. I'm going to go here just to pressure the pawn and break that pin. One knight guards the other. Knight up and maybe come forward might be a rough idea at some point. Play bishop forward, okay. If I challenge that he takes, I could take here, but I'll lose my knight. So rook across, and then I've got the option to take back. I'm going to do that to guard the knight. Then I've got the option to take, and I no longer have a backward pawn that can't really go forward too easily. So now pawn up is a move. Be very symmetrical if I take with a pawn, but at least it's then not fixed in by white's e-pawn. Yeah, he has taken, so I'm looking at simply taking back with a pawn. Now, knight could do with getting forward, but at least I've no longer got a backward pawn here, so he has got knight in. That's a little bit annoying, actually. Actually, I might have gone wrong here. Knight up becomes forward. I might have gone really quite wrong here. I guess I've got rook across first, but then I'll hanging my knight, and I can't do much to get out of the way. I can't move here. I really have to move my knight. So here, forward. Here, you don't really want to do that, but here. I might have gone wrong here. I might have played a bit too quick there. What on earth do we do? Knight in a take. He's going to plant a pawn. I've got no defense. Go here, knight in, rook across. This knight is loose. I guess I've got queen back, but then I'll lose the exchange. I'm going to step to the corner just so if a knight comes in, there's no check. And I think I can risk moving across with a view to then going knight up, but I might be wrong. Might be wrong. I might be losing this one relatively quickly. I might have gone wrong there. Still pressure on the pawn, but that's not really too important right now. So knight in, rook across. I could go here and get tempo on the queen, I guess, but then I'm still kind of in a pin. If I play knight up, it doesn't really then work. Yeah, he's moved the queen anyhow. I need to get this bishop shifted. I'm going to need a lot of moves here. This feels like it's probably a mistake, but it could still be a free pawn. Here, rook across, maybe here or take. But I need 1, 2, 3 moves, plus a queen somewhere. Actually, what's wrong with knight forward here? He could just play rook across. Otherwise I've got knight down, but knight forward. Or maybe pawn up to try and get the bishop into play. I don't know here. I'm going to drop the queen back and pressure this pawn, but I want to try and shift this pawn and get the bishop into play if I can. Now I'm guarding the knight, so the rook can kind of step over. Okay, I'm not going to take there. I thought I could maybe play knight up here. So I'm going to do that. If he takes, I'll take back. But I don't want to take and plant a pawn there with no defensive bishop. If the queen gets in, probably game over. If I take now, pawn in, for instance, I can drop back and I've still got a defending bishop just. Very tricky. Yeah, he's stopping knight going here, but can't I take now then? If the pawn goes here, I can drop the bishop back. It's going to be a real problem to deal with the pawn, isn't it? But well, I could just play pawn up here first, but yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to give my bishop a square. Okay, now he forced me into it, so I'm going to have to take. Okay, he's gone with the knight, so I assume I play it across with a view to bishop up. So I'm going to do that and bishop up. I don't want to take and bring the pawn in. If I can get the bishop up, connect the rooks. Pawn up here to try and get the bishop into play. Actually, that might be a good sack for white. Take, then my bishop is completely boxed. I might be better pushing the pawn first, but because he's played the rook across, I'll have to connect my rooks there. But it seems good for white to try and sack a pawn and box my bishop in. Now there's a bit of a problem here. That's a good move. If I go here though, knight check, takes, rook takes is still covered. I'm going to have to do that and kick that knight back. If goes back, then I'll play pawn up and threaten to trade. Okay, takes with checks, I'll take back. Don't take with a queen there, blundering this. So if knight back, well here, I'll be pushing the pawn, that's my intended move, but then knight in, it's still a bit of a problem. Maybe I might have to take and hope I can defend. Oh, he's gone that way, okay. So the knight wants to maybe go here. I'm going to play up to still try and release this bishop and maybe queen on the diagonal. I might suddenly create a dangerous threat out of nowhere. If I can get queen up and there's again a vulnerable diagonal for white with no defending bishop, whereas I've got my defending bishop. Always interesting knights against bishops. Wow, it's just even allowed that. That's a really bold move. So here I'm threatening check. And I don't see a really good defense to that. You might have to go here and trade things off. So queen up, and then queen here. Gain a knight, lose a queen, gain a queen, lose a bishop, but I'm fine then. But I could maybe play rook here first. It's actually just to stop white's queen coming here. I'm going to do that, I think. Now I am threatening a serious move in queen up to crash through. Queen here won't then be a move, or here or here. And he's played that quite quickly. So here, he's going to have to play back. So can he do that first? Here, I just simply take, right? It's a piece. So I'm going to go here now, threatening to crash through. It's not a forced checkmate, but it's a danger. The king up, I can grab a pawn and maybe the knight. But we've stopped the queen from coming here as a blockader. If the knight goes there, I think I simply take it with the rook. So the knight goes back, that just hangs checkmate. Okay, that's a good win.